Hey y'all, how you doing today? All right. I hope the new year is treating you right. Hope you had a great set of holidays and the new year's off to a great start. So, um, want to talk to you a little bit about the channel. I've reached 500 subscribers, just over 500 subscribers. So it's pretty mind blowing. And right now, I'm over here looking for some bearings and seals that I ordered, and I don't know where I put them. But you know what? This is a good time to talk about where the channel, the projects on the channel, and what you can expect on the channel in this next year, and the goals. Uh, First of all, the goal is to get more subscribers. Of course, uh, I want to get more subscribers and get up there to you know if we can do another 500 subscribers, hey, great. Um, but ultimately, that depends on what I'm putting out and you all. And I want to thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for all the subscriptions and the likes and the shares. You all have really put it up over the top, and I really do appreciate that. But we need to talk about projects. Where are the projects at right now? Well, right now, turn this around. The 8 3/4 over there. That's I just got that center section loaded into the housing right there. I've been going through and cleaning all of the studs that mount the center section to the housing. Got all of that bolted up and got that done. Um, the next things that are going to happen is the bearings on those axles are really nice shape. And so those bearings have to be packed in grease. And new seals have to be put into the housing. So those are the next things that's got to happen to that. And then not only that, the housing, housing. I have to order adapter plates, and get them coming. The reason being is the front of this truck and the rear of this truck, and I'm talking about this truck here, my 92 D150, has a 5 on 5.5 inch lug pattern, and that's what these wheels are. These are real deal Mickey Thompson wheels. Okay, they're the real true stuff. They are great wheels. Never an ounce of trouble out of them, and I love them, and I will continue to use them. 16 inches. They're a 16-inch wheel. So I want to continue to use them. So the axles that go in that housing over there are 5 on 4.5 inch slug pattern. So I have to use an adapter plate to go on this. So that's what I got to do. I don't like it, but that's what I got to do, and that's that. So that's also this truck. This truck brings us to the next project, which is the 360. It's sitting there all covered up and wrapped up like a baby swaddled in a blanket or something. Uh, but it is right now. I've done all I can do to that engine until I get done with the fabrication work on this. So what I've got to do on this is the $50 318. This is a fantastic running little engine too, by the way. And I've got plans for this engine too, besides this. Basically what's got to happen next is I've got to make a bracket to go right here. As you can see, this right here is not bolted to the head. It's bolted to what's right there. There's a spacer right there and it's bolted to the head right there, but the other two bolt holes aren't. They're just hanging out there in the air. So I've got to come up with a bracket for that. Okay. I've got to come up with I got to modify a bracket that goes right over here and bolts all this together. And I've got to finish this up here, and then there's a small bracket, a tube steel bracket that goes right here and just angles down and bolts to the cylinder head. Probably about right there is where I'm going to put it. That makes everything really nice and stable up here. This 318 though will be going through a lot of work for not just for the 360 to test out things, but it's going to be going through a lot of work as like it's going to get a different intake. It might get headers, and it's going to come off the stand, and it's going to go right over there. Yep, right where that slant 6 is. So, I know to some of y'all that may be a little bit of a disappointment because, but to me it's not. I'm not, I love the slant 6, don't get me wrong. I have no real gripes about it other than it's not a huge horsepower engine. Neither is this, but this has more potential and opportunity right off the bat than the slant 6. Okay, now I know there's going to be people that are going to roast me in the comments about that, and, oh, you don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 all this kind of crap. Well, fine, be upset. But I love the 318s. I always have, I always will. They're my go-to engine. They're just fantastic, and I love them. I love everything about them. The small block Mopar LAs are just, that's what I love. The slant 6s I love. But let's be realistic. What you put into that, like cam, headers, intake, carb, ignition system, more compression, stuff like that. Yes, you get more power. Do the same thing here. You get even more. Considerably more power. So where do you go? You know what I'm saying? How do you make all that work? So that's what I'm talking about. So we got to get things worked out here to where that engine goes in there. I've got the mounts. I've got a transmission, to where we can get this 318 in the Barracuda. I've got the mounts and the transmission, and I've got some exhaust manifolds. I'm not real crazy about them, but if I have to use exhaust manifolds, I will, until I can get some headers, or I can make some headers or modify some. But this engine will be going in the Barracuda. The 239, not to forget about it, will be going into a small tractor that I have. I think that engine is perfect for that. I like that little engine. The 239 V6s, 3.9 liter V6s, I love those little engines too. And I've got one right now, currently in my truck right now, even though it is a Magnum version and that's just an LA version. But still, I think this is going to be perfect for my tractor. So, anyway, there we go. So, all right. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to be doing, some things I'm going to be doing, plan on doing the next year, and what you can expect. Let's see. Oh, here's my seals and everything. Yay, I found the seals and stuff. Okay, great. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay. So, what to expect out of the new year? Okay. I'm going to be going to some events. I'm going to go do some more drag racing. Probably, maybe with some of the Slant 6 guys before I get this Slant 6 pulled out, but maybe not. The Slant 6, however, does have some issues idling. Just not been able to crack that nut, so to speak. Just some issues. So I've got to get that figured out. Another thing I've got to get figured out is, well, another thing that's going to happen on the channel is, yes, I'm going to go do some drag racing. Eventually, I would love to go racing at Blytheville, Arkansas. For those of you who don't know what's going on there, Blytheville, Arkansas, what they do out there is they do the grandfather of drag racing. It's called Land Speed Racing. Okay, and it's that's where the East Coast Timing Association is currently having their runs at right now. So I want to run there, and I would like to run the Barracuda there. So it'd be cool to run the Slant 6 there, you know, but it'd be cool to run the 318 there too. I mean, think about it. How many of these Barracudas do you see Land Speed Racing? Not very many. So anyway, there's a few every once in a while, but you know, eventually I think my dream goal is to go to Bonneville, you know, and race this out there. But you know, who knows? You know, but anyway, so found the seal for the 8 3/4 axle tube. The 8 3/4 has they all have, all of them that I've ever seen, they all have the bearing that's on the axle that does not get lubricated by the gear oil that lubricates the center section. Okay, the differential gear oil. It is lubricated by a wheel bearing grease, like on the front of like a whole lot of older vehicles where you had to pack the bearings in grease. Okay, that's what those bearings ride in. So they have an inner and an outer seal. So all right, I'm gonna drive the seal in, and let's set things up so you can see what I'm doing. Let's see here. Let's do things a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, here's my seal driver set. So anyway, if you get a chance to get yourself a seal driver set, I do recommend it. It is it's a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun, it's just very helpful to have a seal driver set rather than, you know, getting a bunch of pieces of pipe and a couple pieces of wood and doing all of this. You can do that. I'm not, you know, slamming anybody for doing that, you know, but I'm just going to tell you that it's a whole lot nicer when you don't have to worry about that. You know, you can just go and be like, you can get your all right, let's see. There we go. Right. Okay, you want to make sure where the seal goes is all nice and clean. Okay, so the seal, this seal goes way down in there, all the way down in there. Now the other day, the other video I made, I went and drove the old seals out. You may have seen that. So you going to stop every once in a while, take a look, make sure you're going in there relatively straight. You're probably not going to be perfect. Look, pay attention to what you're doing. Listen for the sound to change as you're hitting the seal driver. Also reach in there and feel. If you notice a little sound change. This thing reached a certain point. I'm noticing it's the same depth all the way around. So that tells me we've reached the bottom. This thing is bottomed out. Now I'm not nowhere near ready to put the axles in right now. I've got to pack those bearings in grease. So, but before I do, I'm going to take the seal and I'm going to lubricate the lips. Okay, what I'm talking about is these two lips right here. Okay, so I'm going to put some oil on there so that they're lubricated, and when the axle goes in there and is turning in there, it's not turning on a dry seal. Okay, if you don't, you stand a chance of damaging the seal, which is, of course, is not good. You don't want to do that. At least I sure don't want to. You know, another thing about this channel is I want to promote it as being someplace where you can come and you can learn something, learn how to do stuff on your vehicle. I don't want it to be something that is basically a place, you know, where I don't want to be one of those people that's like, you know, a gatekeeper of the information for these vehicles and stuff. That to me, that's silly. I don't like that. You know, I just don't like that at all. I'd much rather pass this information along to a lot of people, because, you know, there's a lot of folks that things have changed for them. Things have changed for them, and you know, they might have had somebody in their life that was taking care of their vehicles for them and doing all this stuff for them, and then now, you know, for whatever variety of reasons, now those people are gone, and that's the way it is. They're gone, and you know, they have to find some way to keep moving on, keep moving forward. So that's what happens sometimes, unfortunately. I don't like it, but that's just the way things are. So I'm moving this axle around here, and I dropped the seal. Yay! But, you know, something else is too. Kind of painted myself into a corner here. Something else too is I tend to show when I screw up too, because I look at it like this. I could be one of those people that doesn't show that, but I don't feel like that's being fair to you all. Yeah. I don't feel like it's being fair to you all if I'm not showing you all when I mess up, because I do mess up. And the thing of it is to be brutally honest with you all, I'm no different than you all. Oh, sure, I have 20 years experience and, you know, former ASE certified, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You know, worked on this, worked on that, fuel injection specialist, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. I was once like you. I didn't have knowledge about this stuff. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And fortunately, some people came along and helped me out. And I'm always going to be eternally grateful to them. They're now gone. And, you know, well, 3 of those people are gone now. Actually, several of those people are gone. And, but the thing of it is that, you know, you always look back, at least I always look back and I think about the people that's helped me out and helped me to get where I'm at today. And, you know, I want to do that. I want to pass that along. I want to return that favor and help people out like you all. So I want to educate and inspire. Now, some people might be saying, well, you're going to educate? Well, that's a joke. Well, the thing of it is that we can all learn something. You know, you can learn something from me even when I make a mistake. You can learn where I made a mistake. And then when you go to do that job, you won't. Okay? So that's the thing. That's the thing about learning. Sometimes you learn from your mistakes. At least I hope you learn from your mistakes. So, all right, I got to get down here and I got to get that seal. And there it is. Oh, yeah, that's good. Okay. There we are. Got the seal. Okay. So, anyway. So, but yes, I want to share what I know and what I'm doing here with all of you all, because I don't want to be some gatekeeper, you know. I want you all to be experienced in this as well. Okay? So, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, you know, I want to inspire you all to get out there, work on your own projects, you know. And I mean, you know, you don't have to have your own specific little, specific garage. I mean, because I'm going to tell you this, I am very thankful to have this garage here. But you know what? I've had to do quite a bit of work to it, too. I've had to put new floors in. I put the electricity in this, put the lights in, and I've showed you some of the stuff I've done. I put the air manifold system in. Done work on the compressors and the compressor storage tanks. There's been a lot of work that's went on in here. So, yeah, I have a garage, but when I started, it was just a building. That was it. And God's honest truth, when I moved here to this house, to this place, this floor right here, you couldn't even walk across it because you would fall through it. Okay? I know I did. Ask me how I know. So, yeah. Okay. Other seal, gonna drive it in real quick. Real simple. Easy, easy, easy. You want to try to keep the seal driver centered on the seal. That's why you want this piece here to be roughly the same size as your seal. You want it to be as close in size to the seal as possible. You hear that change? Another thing is too, let the hammer do the work. Okay? What I mean by that is when I'm swinging and I'm hitting that, I'm letting this weight of this hammer really come into play and drive that down in there. So I'm going to check this. That feels about right to me. So I'm going to wipe this out here real quick. The reason I'm using this other towel is it's got oil on it, so it's catching all of that debris there from the seal. Now that debris, however, is important because it's going in there and it's sealing up any little tiny little grooves or imperfections in there. Now some people will put silicone on the edge of the seal. That's not a bad idea. However, the thing you got to be worried about, you got to be concerned about, is that on that seal, that groove or that silicone on that seal will cause that seal to go one way or the other, caulk in there one way or the other. And then when you do that, then you have to pull it back out and start all over again, or you have to hammer on one, try to favor the seal driver to one side or the other. So that's something very important. So, anyway, put this thing back. But, yeah, I just want to want this channel to be someplace where you all can come and you can learn about this stuff. Some people are like, well, if you don't know, then you don't need to be doing this stuff. Well, you know what? That's hogwash. To me, anyway. And why I say that is this. People can learn. You can learn. I can learn. And I mean, we all can learn. And that's something I think is universal, regardless. I mean, I have subscribers now that are in Mexico. So, which I'm really thankful for. But, people want to know. They want to learn. And, I mean, you have some cranky, crotchety, asshole person who's like, yeah, I ain't going to tell these people how I do this stuff. But, or you can be one of these people who is like happy to pass this stuff along. And I am. I'm happy to pass this along. I don't want to be one of those gatekeepers or one of those cranky, crotchety people who doesn't want to show people how to do this stuff. I want to, help people out. So, anyway, all right. I hope you found this video helpful and maybe even entertaining to some degree. But I want to thank you all so much. You have propelled the channel forward, and I'm just always going to be grateful for that. And so thank you so much, and I hope you have a great new year, and please do keep coming back, and I'll keep making videos and putting them out there. And all right, so thank you so much. God bless. Have a great one.